分だけ終わりました。ご迷惑おかけしました。
お疲れ様でした。
Toys R Us! Come to me! Toys R Us! I feel so betrayed.
You've been hit by a smooth criminal. こんな美味しいカレーがこの世にあるなんて。やめだね、カレーは。なんだったんだ。
Remember to click like, subscribe, the bell notification, and whatever else YouTube has you clicking on to support us. What's up, everyone? I'm the Kaiju no Kami from the Toku and Animation News Network, and today I'm taking a look at the second half to Bakuage Sentai Boonboomger. To recap my previous review, Boonboomger's head writer was Atushiro Tomioka, who has done the Digimon Adventure remake, several episodes of Pokémon, and the Red Ranger becomes an adventurer in another world. Boonboomger revolves around a team of deliverymen who have to protect the Earth from an invading crime syndicate. The show features a pretty kick-ass soundtrack from Yoshie Ikeda and Kota Yokoseki, had an excellent opening song sung by ABBA Rangers Masaki Endo, while Rika Matsumoto handled the ending theme. The effects have been solid up to this point, and the mech battles were not overly complicated. The narrative did take a backseat in the later episodes of the first half, as the show seemed to stall out. Did Boonboomger send the ride to a mechanic for a fix? Or did the show break itself pretty early on? Watch to find out. The heroes! To recap who the heroes are, there's Taya Hondo, Ishiro Meta, Mira Shifuto, Joe Aksu, Genba Bareki, and Sakato Homura. They are assisted by alien-like machines who can transform into vehicles and grow big, named Bunderio, Boomer Bunderas, and Bundi. The first half of the show gave us a fair amount of backstory and character development towards Taya, Mira, and Sakato. Taya lost his parents when he was young, was raised by the CEO of Lightning Tech, Naito Raita, and created his own company to deliver dreams to people. More of his backstory comes to light towards the end of the series, which was quite heavy as it delved into child abuse, something I never thought I would ever see Sentai tackle. The event really shaped Taya as a person.
俺その事件覚えてます。5歳の子でしたよね。
壁の向こう側は愛のない世界だった。俺の耳には今でもあの子の悲鳴が響いてるんだ。
Mira and Sakato do get some great moments to themselves.
いいな、車中出現だ。
店長、ブンブン抜けします。マキ、どうして？
ねっ
お前ら見てるだけなんて人が悪いな。俺のことを悪と呼ぶなら呼べばいい。俺は地球とっくに捨ててんだ。どう呼ばれようが構わね
However, they're given the shaft as they aren't the ones who receive the biggest amount of focus. Sakato's story does weave throughout everyone else's, but I can't say he is on the same level as Jeremy and King Oger and Jiro and Don Brothers. Mira does get a nice callback to the premiere in the final battle. Joe is my least favorite member of the Boonboomgers and had some of the weakest episodes of the series. However, he also received a strong episode that traveled into his backstory that elevated him from my initial reaction. His father was a detective, and when he was 9, his father complained about the cold weather. As such, Joe tried to put a heater into his jacket, accidentally setting it aflame.
ジョー、なんでこんな危ねえことした？
父ちゃんが仕事行くとき寒いって俺温めようとして
He apologized and his father told him he should never be afraid to make mistakes. This lesson followed him throughout his life as there is a monster who uses people's mistakes against them, but Joe is unaffected regardless of how weird the mistakes are thanks to his childhood mishap.
この数字は今付き合ってる彼氏の数。
どういうこと？ね
1回に使うトイレットペーパーの長さ。
やめて。
ダメ。一番低かった点数を点数。
ちょっと待って、マイナスってどういうこと？どういう点数？
だからどうした？
I also like how late in the game he puts his morals over following orders, something every soldier should learn to do.
その命令が本当に正しいって思ってるんですか？
真実から目をそらし悲鳴を上げている人を助けることができないなら俺は警察官をやめてやる。
Genbo receives the bulk of character growth in the second half of the series. It is revealed that he is from another world and crashed on Earth when the Hasha aliens took over his planet and imprisoned his dad. The reason we always see him eating a lollipop is because sugar is his source of sustenance.
私の本当の名前はゲンバード・デ・リバリー2世。
で、リバリー2世ってことは惑星ブレキの若旦那か。
He makes me think of Kurama from Yu Yu Hakusho as he can stray back and forth between his human look and alien form, which resembles Inuyasha to me.
これだけは譲れないんだ。
俺待ってます。待ってます。
Genba leaves the Boonboomgers for a brief period when the alien responsible for conquering his planet arrives on Earth, as he does not want them to get hurt while he enacts vengeance for the ill placed upon him.
この手でディスレースを倒す。これはただの復讐だ。だから君たちを巻き込みたくない。自分のハンドルは自分で握る。
He regrets his decision, realizing he belongs with the Boonboomgers as they are a part of his family. Ishiro is an oddball character because his lack of character development is his character development. All we really know about Ishiro is that he was once a spy working for the ISA, and that comes back to haunt him. We get to meet a former colleague of his, played by Ultraman Blazer's Konomi Naito, who tries to bring him back at the cost of her own life, or so it seems.
あなたと組んだミッション楽しかったわ。味方としても敵としてもね。なのにヒーローごっこをやってるなんてがっかり。
It is hard to go into complete detail without spoiling the end of Boonboomger, so I will just say the way Tomioka handled Ishiro was very effective, and Taya's complete trust in him fully pays off. Boomer and Boon-D continue to grow in the series, especially when more of Boomer's past is put out in the open for all of the Boonboomgers.
まだまだ小さいが走り屋の鉄組織を旗揚げしたところさ。
弱った俺の心にスピンドーの言葉は気持ちよかったんだ。それから俺はずっと裏方であいつが望むまま。
It really dives into what exactly led to his expulsion from the Big Bang Grand Prix and continues to show how thorough his friendship with the Boonboomgers has blossomed.
大丈夫。どこにも行かないよ。
ブーさんがどれだけ俺たちのこと大事に思ってくれてるかみんな十分すぎるから知ってます。
誰にでも言いたくないことはあるからね。
Boon-D is the only one who is initially distraught by the reveal, which sees his own line of thinking come into play with who he is.
スピンドーが来た暁には共に戦おう。おい。
よーし。ここも始末がついた。
I do have to say that ISA agent Shirabe grew on me as the series progressed. I still find her obsession with Boomer to be a tad creepy.
ハグさせてくれ。
ハグ？夢のようです。
夢でした。
but as a character, I like the direction her story followed.
でもこれだけは伝えておきたいんです。私もブンブンジャーの一員です。
The second half featured her devious boss, Atushiro Tomioka, as a prominent character, who was not exactly working in the best interests of the Earth. Keisuke Horabe did a fine job playing this sleazeball you want to punch every time he opens his mouth.
こちらの準備は整った。君の方も始めてくれ。わかりました。では早速。
Horabe has also been featured in a multitude of films and series including Shark Skin Man and Peach Hip Girl, Tokyo Gore Police, High and Low, and A Devil in Her Love Song.
今後地球でのすべての交渉を担当いたします ISA 作戦本部長床槍英一郎です。
Tokuyaru's assistant is a treacherous little tramp named Maimi Baisu.
やっと社長から解放されたのよ。調べブンブンジャーに肩入れしすぎてるって噂本当みたいね。
Their names continue to play on American TV shows, with Tokoyari being the A-Team, while Baisu is Miami Vice. While Taya's 119 form is rarely used again in the second half of the series, the team does receive an upgrade form in the manifestation of racing jackets. The jackets are interesting and fit the show's narrative quite well, even if they aren't my favorite. Each member can put their energy into a single ranger's attack and perform a finisher.
Champion! Custom! Bakuage! Champion drive! Ha!
Like with Boonboomger early on, Gokai Blue, Akira, and Tokyo 1 make guest appearances in an episode.
豪快チェンジ。
何やってんだあいつら。
同乗者願います。
出発進行。
The villains! The first half of the show introduced us to the three goons, who are very reminiscent to Team Rocket.
Team Rocket's blasting off again!
And two captains. The three goons are Decatrate, Itasha, and my favorite of the trio, the smack-talking Yarukar.
本家からどうしてもって言われて俺頼まれちゃったわけよ。
The second half of the series gives us some great insight as to who they are and how they came to be. Yarukar is from a race of creatures who got knocked off course, crashing onto a planet befriending Decatrate and Natasha.
元気すぎて生まれてすぐに星から飛び出たやつがいたんだって。
それがヤルちゃん？
ああ、きっと流れ星か何かにぶつかってトサカーと記憶をなくしてしまったんだろう。
Together, they lived in the slums until Captain Mad Rex discovered them and made them his underlings.
ちょっとやめてくださいよ。絶対に勝てないって。やめるか。
本当の負けってのはな、自分は負けたと諦めた時なんだ。
気に入ったぜその魂。
He respected them and gave them a purpose, making them a part of the Hasha aliens.
俺たちにとって大事なものは何だ。宇宙一の This
tidbit added a whole new layer to Mad Rex that had not been revealed to us initially, developing his character more post-death than originally envisioned. It's been a long time since the Sentai show managed to grow a character after they were gone, showing he actually was more than just the first general. It gets even more tragic when Mad Rex is brought back from the dead later by the third captain to come to Earth, Disrace.
走りやん再建隊長
Disrace was the one who conquered Gemba's planet and has now been put in charge of bringing the Earth into the fold. He's a manipulative bastard who brings Mad Rex back from the dead as a mindless zombie and uses the three goons' loyalty for their savior to fuel his devious plots.
こちらです。
覚えていらっしゃいますか。
ここは
マットリック様が初めて地球に降り立った場所です。ここです、ここ。見て見て。
Shotaro Murakubo perfectly voices this deviant, who has had his voice heard in the likes of Naruto, Kikaider 01 the animation, Gundam X, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Persona 4, Demon Slayer, One Piece, and Uta no Prince.
ブンブンジャーは地球の発展を邪魔する敵だ。そんな奴らの許していいわけないよな。
This race is when the villains started to get really interesting thanks to his backstory tying into Genba's, and he becomes a direct rival for him. Furthermore, he allowed more development to occur for Mad Rex, which was an unexpected bonus.
人は生まれ変わった。お前の名前は今日からマッドレックス・フューリーだ。Tale to knows.
Of course, the best villain of all in this series is without a doubt the Michael Jackson-looking leader of the Hasha aliens, Wald Spinder.
これなるは我がハシリアン総大将ワルイド・スピンドー様である。
We are first introduced to Spinder in prison, but it's not the type of prison you think. Rather, rich gangster prison, which is also an asteroid spaceship. He gets his own meals, his bodyguard Grant's Risk is ever present, and he can leave it on a whim as we see when he makes one of the most badass entrances in Sentai history. Granted, Doug Dead and the Space Jesters had a grandiose introduction in King Oger as well, but something about the way Spinder just waltzes out of his prison cell to descend on Earth was even more gratifying. He just comes to Earth with a doesn't give a damn about your feelings attitude and kicks all kinds of Boonboomger ass in the process. The final episode reveals his backstory, providing us with a speech that is both effective and sensible, something previous series like Zyuohger failed to capture when doing a last-minute moment of development.
悲鳴だらけの吐きだめだ。私が悲鳴を上げさせてやるってね。もう息ずっと悲鳴を聞いていたいのさ。
It helps the way he goes out was also in character. Everything about this dude screams credible threat, and it made the wait for his arrival well worth it. He even obtains his own type of power-up that turns his outfit from red to white. Anime voice actor Koji Yusa lends his amazing talents to Spinder. Yusa has voiced Takashi in Boogie Pop Phantom, Lunatic in Tiger and Bunny, Shadow in Sonic X, Lancer in Fate Apocrypha, and Shinji in Mob Psycho.
地球はいいね。あっちこっちで戦争の匂い、貧しさの匂い、最高のギャソリンの匂いさね。
Tsutomu Isobe is Grant Ritz, who was Wozard in Maji Ranger.
地球縄張り計画にとって最大のリスク、ブンブンジャーを倒せ。成功の暁には私がスピンドー様にお前たちを切り込み隊長にするよう進言しよう。
Grant's Risk is really just that, the bodyguard. He has no character development other than he serves Spinder. It works for who he was.
もうお前はスクラップじゃねえ。お前は俺だ。
脅威。グ ランツはいつでも。
Now, one thing you may have noticed is that each higher-up member of the Hasha aliens seemed to come with their own animal-esque companion. Mad Rex had a dog, Disrace a snake, Grant's Risk was accompanied by a bull, while a monkey followed Spinder. Cannonborg also had one, but it was a candlestick for some reason. These partners are actually gas tanks that keep the Hasha aliens energized. It's a uniquely cool idea. On top of development, the three goons do get some great moments of screen time, which includes Atasha going Disney,
孤独で貧しい私の友達は空腹と絶望と
Yarukar becoming an auto monster that has the faces of every auto monster in the show, and even using their powers. And Decatrade has a great moment with Joe. The coolest auto monsters in the second half include one made of neon lights, and one that felt like he was taken out of a Mad Max movie. We also get some recycled monsters that include some interesting twists. The Mecha. There's actually not much Mecha added to the second half of Boonboomger. The biggest addition was Champion Carrier, whose name says it all. He's a car carrier. Like the rest of the Boom Boom cars, Champion Carrier attaches to Boomer for added power. Its final attack uses the power of all of the cars. As with before, Boomer uses his screwdriver efficiently again. Tokuo appears. I did like Sakato's sequence in the cockpit of this form. Beyond manages to make friends with Tokuo, obtaining his own form that combines with the Toku trains. There's also a hilarious moment with this combined form that occurs when there is an auto monster who blocks vehicles from coming over to him.
I'll allow it.
Bluesky also gets to combine with both Goonboomger Robo and Gokaiō, which features another fun cockpit moment. You may recall I mentioned in the previous review that Decatrade and Atasha have their own mech called Boom Boom Killer Robo. It's pretty cool in design as it looks like they took Boomer and merged him with the Fallen from Transformers. Unfortunately, nothing truly amazing was done with Killer Robo outside of it being mass-produced. It did become a fill-in for when there was no auto monster to have a mech battle with from time to time too. Nevertheless, I did like the direction the show took with it. There was a cool moment when it carjacked the police vehicles. The effects and music. There's not too much I can add that I didn't already say in the previous review. The effects and music remain a high point for Boonboomger. Camera work continues to be exceptional, especially in some of the fights against Spinder. I am not kidding when I say this show had some wicked combat sequences. Give me more, Snake! While I get the reasoning for using CGI for Gokaiō, I can't help but feel disappointed they didn't have the original suit still. There's not much more I can say about the soundtrack I didn't already cover, but here are a couple more of my favorite tracks from this half of the series.
力のある者が正義を決めるの。走りやんと気づくこれからの時代こそが。
I did find it interesting how the opening theme would reflect events going on in the show. For example, when Genba leaves the team, a lot of his sequences are removed from it. When another member is absent, they too disappear. On the other hand, the ending didn't really do too much, and I was disappointed they never properly added Sakato to the stage. The episodes. Well, episodes 10 to 25 were a lot of filler-esque feeling episodes. 26 to 48 are like all almost story-driven. In the end, Boonboomger was broken into 4 story arcs titled Laps, which really came down to the Captain on Earth. Episodes 1 and 9 was Lap 1, 10 to 25 was Lap 2, Lap 3 encompassed 26 to 35, while the remaining episodes were deemed Final Lap. Lap 3 revolved around Genba's backstory with his planet and disrace, while the final lap centered on Spinder's actual invasion of Earth. The first 2 laps really played things safe, while the last 2 broke your typical Sentai tropes. Lap 3 saw Genba leaving the team, relegating the Boonboomgers back to a 5-man operation. Then in Lap 4, we had characters on the brink of death, another character leaving the team possibly being outlawed, and so on. There was rarely a dull moment for Boonboomger's second half. It also managed to develop Genba, Ishiro, and Joe better than the first half. On the other hand, Mira didn't get much time to shine until the last 2 episodes. I did like the one where her friends stole her changer and how the episode preview played with your expectations of what was going to occur. The show also managed to feature episodes that blew my previous favorite out of the water, along with an episode I found to be even worse than the ones I didn't care for before. My least favorite episode of the entire series is without a doubt 41's Someone to Watch My Back. 2 soccer officials plan to sell the sports out to Spinder and the Boonboomgers have to stop them. How, you ask? By playing soccer! Because apparently soccer is a vital part of the Earth's economy. Anyway, Sakato and Genba are huge soccer aficionados and get into an argument over how the game should be played. However, they're not just playing soccer, as apparently the rules of the game can change on the fly via field changes per some galactic soccer rules or some crap like that.
ここが俺の新しいゴールだ
宇宙ではこの程度日常茶飯事だ。
バスケットボール
それそれくねくね。でもあれサッカーのゴールじゃない。
宇宙ではこの程度日常茶飯事だ。日常茶飯事だ。
こんなところでサッカーしたらお店がめちゃくちゃだよ。
すいません。よし、この店買った。本当に買うの？
It's a giant load of horseshit. I'm also guessing this scene is cameo heavy, but I'm not 100% sure.
ここが俺の新しいゴールだ。
あのタイヤの穴がゴールか。
And our soccer executives are played by the guys who were Sebastian and Boshimar in King Oger.
お腹減っちゃって追いつかれたの。
Alternatively, episode 39, The Screaming Plant, was so fucking amazing. It's the episode where Spinder touches down on Earth with the sequence I mentioned earlier in the review. Add to it the incredible music that enhances his arrival. He also informs Taya of some harsh truths.
お前らブンブンジャーはビッグバングランプリを目指してんだってな。でもあれ今じゃ私の仕切りなんだわ。勝った負けたの悲鳴はいいギャソリンになる。レースの勝ち負けも走り屋の思いのままさね。
It does have a goofy auto monster, but that was just a way to balance the serious drama with a bit of the comedy for the younger audience.
At the car wash, working at the car wash, yeah.
The movie! As of right now, the summer movie is the only additional content available. The movie takes place between episodes 20 and 21 and features a new captain named Demon Thunder chasing after a princess who has escaped to Earth. The princess's name is Nicola Kidor, based on Nicole Kidman, while the monster is a take on her film Days of Thunder.
怪我はないかな。惑星トリクルの王女ニコーラ・キードは殿下。
The plot plays out pretty much how you would expect. It wasn't a bad movie overall. There is a hilarious sequence at the beginning when the Boonboomgers confront Deco Trade and his army of reused auto monsters.
中古車どもユーズド車銃ども
今まで戦った車銃か。こりゃ復活祭りだね。
在庫大放出だぜ。
Demon Thunder has an awesome looking missile that uses the Transformers font.
王女を渡さなければ地球に惑星大破壊大ミサイルを撃ち込むと脅しをかけてきたのです。
There's a funny sequence at the end with Mira when she gives her changer to Nicola.
いただいても良いのか。私の分はまたタイヤに作ってもらうからね、タイヤ。
さてどうしようかな。
え？
And of course, some pretty cool effects. Boonboomger went from being advertised as child's first Toku and became a dramatic, serious ordeal in its second half. I was quite impressed to the point that I am giving Bakuage Sentai Boonboomger a solid 4 out of 5 grown-ups in spandex. It was a nice return to form after King Oger's visual stimulation, and despite some hiccups here or there, was a solid experience overall. This now marks 3 times in a row that we have gotten a truly amazing Sentai show. Something that hasn't happened in quite some time. Let's hope the next is on equal footing. Until then, bye.